guys, it's Kelly here, and today we are going to be making something a little bit different. We're going to be making this little fun 3D purse with some die cuts. This is from Honeybee Stamps, and the products for this will come out in the April 15th release. So I am using the Tag You're It Luxury for my sentiment, and then I'm using the Lovely Layers Tote for All Seasons and the Accessorize It Tagged dies. I've also pulled out some paper. This is the Cottage Core, Cottage Countryside paper. And then I pulled out some like stripe, but I didn't end up using it. And then I also pulled out a gold metallic for my little accents. And then there's several different ways that you can put this together. I'm making the 3D one, so when we're done with this, this will like fully stand up. It also does fold down to fit into an envelope, but then you could just pop it back open. So in our paper pads, there's always 2 of each paper, and they're double-sided. So this is perfect for building something like this where we're going to be able to see the inside and the outside. So we want to cut 2, that one in the top left and the one in the right. The one on the right is the sides of the purse or tote. The one on the left is the front and the back. So we're going to cut 2 of each of those, and I'm going to cut them in different areas of the pattern paper so that I can have them. I will tell you, because this is me learning, right? The one on the right is actually upside down. So you want the square, like the rectangle part of it, to be on the bottom for your patterns to flow. I didn't notice to be too much of a problem when I was putting the purse together, but I wasn't finicky about it. And then, like I said, I thought I was going to use the polka dot pinstripe, but I actually ended up using another one from here, and it looks like it's like a texture. You may notice some little teeny tiny hands in here that I have a little extra helper. So the top part is the fold over for the purse, like how it will fold over. And then these 2 bottom pieces are the top and the bottom panels. So we're cutting those out of this kind of pink textured paper, and then the tag up there I will be cutting just out of some brown cardstock. We'll be doing another little technique with that as well. And then we saw, did we see the gold? We did see the gold. I am going to trim these down just a little bit so I'm not having to run the entire piece of paper through my Platinum 6. But also it makes it so that I can cut more than once. You know what I'm saying? Because your girl's a little bit lazy and doesn't want to have to die cut a bunch of stuff over and over again. Here, this piece has like the little strap as well as the like the little clasp part of it. So I cut it out of the metallic cardstock, and then I was like, oh, I also need to cut it out of the brown. So I had to go back. You'll see that in a minute. So we're just going to line these up and run them through the die cutting machine. I'm not going to run them through the die cutting machine. My muscles, my little Muscles McGee, my little jelly bean, is running them through the die cutting machine. You'll see here in a minute that both of my hands are going to be holding up there. And so I did have to help her get them started. But then, like, once she was good to go, then she was doing it herself, though she was kind of bebopping it all over, all over. But that was my own fault for not opening it on the desk so that it could create the suction. So she was quite helpful, and she has already requested that she be able to have the purse, and I explained to her that I needed it for the release party on Wednesday, but then after that, then she could in fact have the purse to put her little gems and trinkets in. So here we're just going to go ahead and pop these out. I like to put my die cuts in a little bowl over here, and then we're going to do the next one. So these ones, we only need 1 of each, which is the top, the bottom, and the lid. Well, it's the extension, the fold over of the lid, so that it has like this cute little ruffle. It's adorable. So we're going to run this through as well. This did take a little bit longer, but it's only because I let her, like, you can see it's moving and you can see both of my hands. I'm not telekinetic. Like, I'm not moving it with my mind. That's just my little one rocking her big muscles. We did yesterday. It's been nice here. Even today, this is how much I love you guys, and you're welcome. I'm sacrificing for you. I closed the window so that I could do this voiceover and you wouldn't have to listen to all the sounds outside. But really, I'm sweating. I am just in here just sweating, because it's too early to turn on any sort of, air conditioning or anything like that. And this whole week is supposed to be in the 70s, right? Today is 76, which, can you even believe that for April in Cleveland? That is wild. It actually says it feels like 80, and I believe it. So anyway, so I had to close my window so that you wouldn't have to listen to all the outside sounds. So here, this is the one that we set them up and went ahead and die cut them out. And then I'm going to get that second piece, and I will die cut them out of there as well. I messed it up. Nobody's shocked by this, because we know that putting 3D dies together is not necessarily my forte, which means if I can do it, anybody can do it. But so here I'm going to line them up, and I wanted this little bird. I thought he was so cute with the little bird with the butterfly, and I was like, that's adorable, and I really want that to be the back where you'd be able to see the whole thing. And it's not the back, it's the front. But whatever. And then on the other side, I cut out the other side panel, as previously stated, both of them upside down. But it's fine. It has the same colors and patterns, and nobody's going to know. It's fine. So then we're going to die cut this. So yesterday, it was really nice out. And so after we had dinner, because my husband made dinner and then we had dessert, I asked my little jelly bean if she would like to go for a walk because it was really nice. And she was like, yeah, can we please take Emma for a walk? And Emma's a thick girl. Okay. She's my younger one, and she likes to eat. She liked to have 2 breakfasts. She liked to have 2 dinners. If it was up to her, Molly would never eat. She'd just be eating up all the food. If you're old like me, and you remember that movie, I'm not going to say what movie it is, but I'm just going to say every time I'm in the kitchen, you're in the kitchen eating up all the food. And that is my dog. So she's thick. She ain't got a waist. She's a big unit. And so we took her for a walk. And everything was going swimmingly. We had on our little dress and our little shorts, which my daughter is the epitome of a girly girl, loves the dresses. But she is not afraid to also get into the mud. She just do it in a dress, which whatever, I'm happy for her. Here, let's go back to the card. So these all have embossed lines on them, and I am folding them first with my fingers, and then I am reinforcing them with a bone folder. So as I'm going through, the only line that I did not reinforce with a bone folder is the bottom. See where that little V is cut into it? There on the top side, there is one, where the square is, there is one that matches that, where it would fold in. It has another little V, but it doesn't go all the way through. So you kind of just have to pinch it to get it to be the same kind of V shape. And so that one I didn't reinforce with the bone folder, but all the rest of them I did. And it worked great. I didn't have any issues. It didn't fold in the wrong place or give me a hard time. None of that. So anyway, so we were going along swimmingly. We were out there in our little dresses and our shorts, and we were running and we were skipping and we were skip jumping, and it was like, keep up, mommy. And I'm like, girl, I'm doing my best. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm just out here trying. Emma's like, both you ladies are leaving me behind. I'm going to lay down here in this yard and take a little nappy. So anyway, we were about... We live on, we have a cul-de-sac. So we go around the cul-de-sac, cross the street, go around another cul-de-sac, and then come back. And typically, we walk up to our street, but then come back around the loop. And then that's a full mile. So that is what I try to walk. So when we were coming up by our street, she was running and skipping, and she fell. And since she had on shorts and a skirt, she fell right on her knees, and she did get to the left knee wasn't really bad, but the right knee was, it was a pretty good scrape. So now I have this dog, this 80 some pound dog, 86 pounds I think is what she is, this 86 pound dog, and this 40 some pound child, and myself, and I am just trying to get her home, and she's crying and she's very upset. Let's go back to the card. So here I put the glue in the wrong place. That happens sometimes when we're learning. So you actually want to put the glue on the patterned side of the bottom on the outside lip, and then you put your back piece right on top of it. I found it to be much easier as I was going through. First of all, I used dry adhesive, which was easier. If you need a little bit more wiggle room, you can absolutely put a little liquid glue as well. But I found it to be easier to lay them on top of each other so that I could see where it was lining up, like from the outside versus doing it on the inside, because I did have to make some adjustments. So when you're putting on the front and the back, you want to adhere it over those little flaps. When you're putting on the sides, you want to adhere the outside flaps to the inside. And we're making sure that our corners are lining up. So we're still putting it on top of the pattern side that we want to show. And then we are adhering it down so that they are matching up with those corners. Here I'm doing it backwards, like I'm trying to do it from the inside out, and it's easier to do if you put the outside on top, because then you can very easily see if it's matching up with the side or not. And then just once I got those pieces together, just kind of went back over with my bone folder and burnished them in. And then the same thing for this one. You want to put the tape on the pattern side that you want to see, but just on the flap, like just on the flap part. So right now, the way we're looking at it is you're going to have the front, the bottom, then the back with the sides, and then the top. And then we'll start to bring everything together once we get the little lid on it, the top little lid piece on it. And that one, again, we're going to put the adhesive on the pattern side that we want to see, but just on the flap. And then we're going to overlap those two die cuts. It really does come together pretty easily. And I like doing it this way, like I said, so I can make sure everything is lining up. And then we can fold it together and make it a 3D piece. So for this part here, we want to add adhesive to the two side flaps that you see, but then also the two bottom flaps that you see. You want to add the adhesive to both. I did the adhesive on the bottom as one piece. After putting it together, I think it might be beneficial if you did one piece on one side of the fold and one piece on the other side of the fold, just so you weren't inhibiting it from closing on the fold. I did have just like one or two little issues where it kind of like popped up, but once I got it like really secured and played around with it a little bit, it was holding. So just something to keep in mind. And then I am going to first line up the bottom piece. It's hard to see. I tried to like flip back the lid so you would be able to see it, but it doesn't line up fully with the back. There is a little bit of a gap. So just line it up with the outside edge. Line up your two outside edges. See how I'm kind of like checking it. You could also pick it up and hold it in your hand, so that way you're looking at the outside and making sure it lines up. This part was kind of the most challenging for me, but once I was like, I need to look at it, like stop lining them up from the to the back, and looking at it from the outside, like here, this is how like looked at it from the outside. It was so much easier to get it lined up, and see where it was supposed to go. Then I can remove the adhesive for the little sides. Oh, I forgot before I closed it up, I needed to put in the little handle. And so you're just going to feed this through. By the way, I'm feeding it through backwards, and it will take me a second to recognize that I'm feeding it through backwards before I have to take it out. Also, I cut out that little ring, that little gold ring up there. That is going to be what I attach my sentiment, my little charm tag to. And these were really easy. I just fed them right back through, and then I held them in place with a little bit of that dry adhesive. It's clear, so I guess you can technically see it. But I was just worried that the liquid adhesive wouldn't be strong enough to hold so that we could carry the purse by its handle. I hope that makes sense. So then this one, also, look, I put it on the left-hand side. I'm going to switch that later too, because for some reason I prefer it on the right-hand side. I don't have answers for you. And then the tag and the little straps I wanted to do like they were like leather. So I cut them out of brown, and then I added a little shading kind of around the edges with this gathered twigs. And then I'm going to get, they're not a little snake pink. And then I'm going to use a 3D embossing folder to add some kind of leather print texture to this. So I'm just going to pop those in there. I'm going to run that through my platinum, and then I am going to bring them back, and I'm going to add just a little bit more distress ink right over top. I didn't even get more ink on the brush. I just used whatever was there, just to add a little bit of shading and give them a little bit more depth and dimension. And then my sentiment, obviously I'm not going to stamp it on that pattern, like that textured paper. So I'm going to heat emboss it on that same brown. I'm going to heat emboss it in white. So anywho, so she did trip and she fell down. And so then I have this dog and her, and I am trying to carry her home. Now, I did make it quite far. I made it honestly all the way to the house that was next to ours, and like my arms just, I literally could not carry her anymore, while I'm also trying to hold on to the dog who is pulling and her, crying. It was kind of a lot that was happening. So we make it home, and get her, sit down, and Eric's talking to her, and we were able to get a cold washcloth on her knee and get her cleaned up. And then she had some cuddles with Daddy on the couch, and she was fine. But it was like, okay, summer's here. So then I felt bad for her, because like last night when I was putting her to bed, then she was like, the next time that we go for a walk, I'm not going to run, and I'm not going to skip, and I want to hold your hand. Like, she was so afraid of falling again. And I was like, honey, it's okay. It's all right. Like, you're not going to fall every time that you run or every time that you jump. It is a possibility, but it's not an all the time occurrence. So here, the little latch portion, kind of, you feed it in to one of the holes. So you feed the strap through and then feed the little thing into the hole so it looks like it's closed. And then I'm holding this in place so I can figure out where I need to adhere it. I only put glue on that top part because I want my 3D purse or my tote to be operational. I want to be able to open it up. So here with the strap portion, I'm just putting adhesive on the left and right hand side so that I can very easily slide my closing mechanism in and out of that. And so this did give me just like a smidge of trouble, because I had to like find a way to hold the lid down with the thing while also holding those things down on a 3D piece of paper so that it adhered. It did give me just a little bit of trouble. But it ended up being okay. I would recommend using some liquid adhesive on top of your dry adhesive to give you that wiggle room. The twine that I wanted to use was white and gold twine. It is a little bit thicker. So here's a little trick that you can use to feed it through. I wrapped the end, because the ends will fray once you cut them. I wrapped the end in a little bit of low tack tape. You could use Scotch tape as well. And that way it created a point. And then I could use that point to feed it through my tag. And I could also use that point to feed it through through my my little gold loop here. I could have adhered my little gold loop down flat, but then my tag part would like just stick up. So I left it a little loose, and I'm fine with that. So I started to like tie it, and then I was like, no, I don't like that. So I went back to just looping it. So I hold the two ends together, create a loop, with both pieces, and then feed the loop through. So you can see the piece where we did not tape it. See how frayed that is? So I don't want all of that there, obviously. So once I have my knot, I'm just going to put in a little bit of liquid adhesive to make sure that that knot is solid and it's not going to come out. And then I can trim it off, and I'll have just a little bit of fraying, which is fine. You could also just use like gold string for this to match the gold, or any color floss that would match your tote or your purse. But so then this says, this took me forever to make, which is obviously not true. It didn't take me very long at all, but I thought it was funny. And so then our little purse opens and closes and is totally adorable. I already put a little note in here for my jelly bean to find when she gets it, or you could put a gift card or lots of things. So anyway, I hope that this inspires you to maybe try something a little bit different for you. I look forward to seeing you guys on the release on April 15th. 8 p.m. on the Honeybee channel. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.